So we talked about something that went really, really well, but you know, things don't always go perfectly. So what's a kind of a common challenge that you've run across, and can you give us a tip on how you can overcome that? Laura?
I think now that especially we're going to Windows 10 and the county has gone to Chrome as the default browser. I'm finding many times students and teachers are trying to access something and it's just not working the way they used to or the way they expected it. And it's simply because they're either on the wrong browser or they're just not on Chrome. So I would say if you're trying to access something, whatever that application happens to be and it's not functioning like you expect, put it on Chrome and try again.
And we also have a blog post on our blog about how to set that as the default. techtoolbox.pcsb.org. Quick plug.
Yeah, go
We're
for
going
it.
to come back to that.
Go for it.
Hold
Yeah.
on, keep that. Keep that. We're gonna, no, not sorry. We're going to come back to it. James.
So similar to what Laura said, with the Windows 10, the new image that we've put out, teachers may notice now that when they project onto the board, that the display no longer fills the entire screen as it once did before they had the computer re-image. And so it shrinks what they see. A quick fix for the teacher to right-click on the desktop, and then when the options come up, they want to select the graphic property link, and from there, what they need to do is now select scale their screen for full screen because it's maintaining the aspect ratio. And so when they make that simple change, they should see they now will fill the screen, and they just have to save those changes or it will revert back.
That's amazing. You know, it's little things like that when you come in and it's just not happening, and it's just like, never mind, I'm not going to. So thanks for sharing that tip.
Stacy?
So just a couple things. The new 2-in-1 teacher station laptops that are coming out no longer have a VGA connection. So a simple tip is try connecting through HDMI. Get an HDMI cord. You can actually get 3 HDMI cords on Amazon for $8.99. So it's an inexpensive solution.
Save your receipt.
Yeah. But connecting your computer through the HDMI connection and leaving your document camera on VGA. And then just remembering now, instead of toggling on that document camera, you're going to pick up the remote or touch the projector where it says source search, and you're going to switch between computer 1, which is the VGA connection, or HDMI, which will be your laptop now.
Pretty easy to do.
And that actually dovetails into what I was going to say as well, because sometimes I want to talk about interactive projectors that sometimes aren't so interactive and people get frustrated. Sometimes if you click on it, it's off by a little bit. It's oftentimes because it's going through that document camera. So hooking up with HDMI will fix that issue too. But if it just seems like you're touching your screen and nothing's working, it's not clicking on your computer, there's a couple things that are really easy to check. First of all, make sure the USB cord coming out of your board's plugged in. Seems like a simple thing, but that's got to be plugged in, otherwise it won't work. And then the second thing is these Epsons have 2 modes. They have a PC free mode where you can draw on the screen and you can highlight over anything, and they've got PC interactive mode where you actually click when you touch. And the problem is it defaults to PC free mode and your touch acts like an eraser. So people are clicking on the screen trying to click on something and nothing's happening because it's trying to erase what's on the screen. So just making sure you're in the right mode on those projectors will often fix that interactivity.
Really good tips.
So, but there's a lot, Sarah. And there's a lot.
So where do we post these?
Yes.
Because if you're watching this and not taking really good notes, you might be thinking, I wish I remember what he said. I have that problem. So we have a special place that you can go. And since you kind of already brought that up a little, can you tell us a little more about our digital learning blog?
Yeah, so we were trying to find a place as a repository for all the information that we discover, because technology is constantly changing. And so we decided to put together a SharePoint site. It's linked to at techtoolbox.pcsb.org. And it's just, we're all constantly putting great content on there, videos, documents, things that we get as we're learning more to help make sure, if you have to wait for us to come out to your school, well, you can always go check there and see if the information that you need is there. So it's techtoolbox.pcsb.org, bookmark it.
Yes.
So keep track as we're coming out with new stuff. It's really good.
And it's also on our digital learning website. We've got a link right there. It looks like a little red toolbox. If you click on it, then you can follow our site, and we post other things, not just our blog as well, so that you can kind of always be in the know about tips and tricks and what we're doing.
So for that, you go to our main website, the main district website, and under departments and offices, you scroll down alphabetical order to digital learning, and there's lots of things there. There's, for instance, there's a BYOD, bring your own device agreement. So some schools who don't have all the devices that they want to use are allowing students to use their own devices. And you know, this is a school-wide decision, and I'll say that. So this is not a decision that can be made in the vacuum, because it does impact a lot of people. And James and I had a situation last year where we have one teacher who is wanting the kids to use their phones for academic purposes with a great application called Quizzes. And then we had at the very same time another teacher saying, these kids have the password, we've got to change it and get them off. And so the lockdown, the technology really has kind of, we've moved past that because the kids have powerful technology. So, but we need guidelines, and so we do have an agreement for kids to sign and for schools to use, and that is there. Another document that we posted there is our tips for student passwords.
Yes.